try and rip you off. I never do that. I actually, in most cases, I never even negotiate the price. I never negotiate the price. Whenever you're going into a deal negotiation, there's two aspects of it: the price and terms. Everybody wants their price. I want my terms. You can say you want to sell a property for $10 million. I'm not going to argue with you. I will come up with a term that will make that $10 million worth it for me. And that's where you walk away with your price. So basically, that's what I did, without giving you guys too much on it, or going too much on it. I gave him his price, then he gave me my terms. So always remember those two things: price and terms.
It's called a long settlement period, right?
Correct. Even like what that lady did to us, there's so many ways. He could even lease to own. I've done lease to own too as well. Because again, like that kind of situation, you say, okay, how much you get lease? I'll do the lease for you and I'll pay all the rent, I'll pay all the bills. Don't worry, leave it with me. Transfer everything to me. I'll do it. And after 3 years later, I'll take full ownership of it. Or whatever.
If you lease to, who owns the deeds on the property?
They match you, it depends. Now for me, I always make sure I own the deed to the property because I can leverage off other property for them to put a KV. So they don't own it. Okay, no. Even if he hasn't paid it, even if it's a small loan amount, do you know that it's what's called a debt assumption process that you can do with some certain banks? If the bank subscribes to that model.
So you go to the bank and you tell the bank, I take responsibility for this.
Correct.
For
Yes.
asset. But then again, you have to have a caveat on the house because
Yes.
the guy can sell
Yes,
it.
yes.
Okay,
And that's what you need. Okay, once you have and you don't need to own a house. Once you put a caveat on something, nothing can happen to that house without you taking out that caveat. Nothing. They cannot refinance that property. They cannot sell that property. It's just like almost like a mortgage. So mortgage comes first, caveat comes second. It's whoever that registers first will get first entitlement. You come second, you get second entitlement. Right? They cannot even refinance it. So a caveat is as good as a mortgage or deed ownership on it. And that caveat will have the caveat agreement to it, but we can always talk more about it. But there's different ways you can go about it. You can lease to own, you can put a caveat, you can basically you can do vendor finance, where the person basically finances the deal for you directly and you bypass the bank completely. Right? And a lot of people that have they've got a lot of money, they love that vendor finance.
Okay, so interesting vendor finance. Take an interesting case. This guy has a $3 million house. He has a mortgage on his house, as you mean. He has a mortgage on his house, has $6.4 million or $2 million mortgage on the house. Now, a vendor finance situation, what are you doing? Are you taking over his $2 million mortgage payments and paying him something else, or how exactly does this work? Because he can't be out of pocket after your deal, right? So he's got this $2 million ANZ mortgage, right?
And the property is worth how much? $3 million.
Okay. When you do a vendor finance essentially means I am lending you the money, kind of, right? Someone has to keep paying ANZ, right? Do you pick that up?
So the way it would look like, let's say the first place way I want to structure it, I want to do debt assumption. That's the first way. Now, if the bank doesn't allow you to do that, then you have to do an actual purchase process. And when you're doing that purchase process, you call it what you call it is a favorable purchase. There's a different way a bank values a property when you say there's a favorable purchase process applied to it, right? Now, when we do that, remember,
What does that mean?
favorable purchase could be, let's say, the property is worth $3 million, and I'm buying it based on the agreement we got for $2.5 million or $2 million, for example, right? Now, when the bank contracted to say that price of $2 million, but when the bank do a comparable sales around the area, similar products are sold for $3 million. Then what they then do you up to 80% of that $3 million valuation. Then that, because the bank will give you the they'll pay off the debt of the $2 million. Then let's say you use $500,000, right? Based on the 80% extra borrowing. You take that $500,000 borrowing, let's say you put $100,000 in stamp duty, you take that $400,000, you give it to the vendor, and at the day of settlement, there'll be like a paper phantom transfer. The solicitor has to be involved in this to cover that $600,000 that is left to make the deal settle. Then at the end of the whole process, you and that vendor will have a caveat of the difference that's left